Got on a vision. Yeah, but we eat on the frame. Two minds, one mission. Elevating the game. Yeah, From the lens to the cut, yeah, we callin' the play. Direct in the flow like we moving ballet. Calvo bring the story, every scene got soul. Yabu E painting light, every shot got gold. Behind the glass or behind the mic, we break it all down, every wrong, every right. This the spot where the real ones speak, where film meets truth every day of the week. We the shot, callers no cap, just facts. From the first frame roll to the final act. If you living for the art, then you already know. Tune in with the squad, let the creativity flow. From the lens to the cut, yeah, we callin' the play. Direct in the flow like we moving ballet. Calvo bring the story, every scene got soul. Yabu E painting light, every shot got gold. Behind the glass or behind the mic, we break it all down, every wrong, every right. This the spot where the real ones speak, where film meets truth every day of the week. We the shot, callers no cap, just facts. From the first frame roll to the final act. If you living for the art, then you already know. Tune in with the squad, let the creativity flow. Two minds, one mission, elevating the plane. Got on a vision. Yeah, but we eat on the frame. Two minds, one mission, elevating the game. From the lens to the cut, yeah, we callin' the play. Direct in the flow like we moving ballet. Calvo bring the story, every scene got soul. Yabu E painting light, every shot got gold. Behind the glass or behind the mic, we break it all down, every wrong, every right. This the spot where the real ones speak, where film meets truth every day of the week. We the shot, callers no cap, just facts. From the first frame roll to the final act. If you living for the art, then you already know. Tune in with the squad, let the creativity flow. From the lens to the cut, yeah, we callin' the play. Direct in the flow like we moving ballet. Calvo bring the story, every scene got soul. Yabu E painting light, every shot got gold. Behind the glass or behind the mic, we break it all down, every wrong, every right. This the spot where the real ones speak, where film meets truth every day of the week. We the shot, call us no cap, just facts. From the first frame roll to the final act. If you living for the art, then you already know. Tune in with the squad, let the creativity flow. Yeah, 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 yeah. How about we eat on the frame? Yeah, two minds, one mission, elevating the plane. Yeah, 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 yeah.
We will be coming up here soon at the Shot Callers podcast. We thank you all for joining in with us tonight. We were having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we are coming on up. We thank you all for tuning in and coming out to hang with us this Thursday late night, evening, whatever you would like to consider it. But yeah, we will be coming up at the Shot Callers podcast, hosted by your boy, your booey,
Your boy, they waiting on who next.
and myself, Calvo G. I don't have a song yet, so y'all just listen to our theme song till then.
Two minds, one mission, elevating the game. Yeah, 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 yeah. From the lens to the cut, yeah, we callin' the play. Direct in the flow like we moving ballet. Calvo bring the story, every scene got soul. Yabu E painting light, every shot got gold. Behind the glass or behind the mic, we break it all down, every wrong, every right. This the spot where the real ones speak, where film meets truth every day of the week. We the shot, call us no cap, just facts. From the first frame roll to the final act. If you living for the art, then you already know. Tune in with the squad, let the creativity flow. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. You gotta unmute me.
You're muted.
I'm muted.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm muted. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Sorry, you all. We were having a little difficulty, but we are here. Thank you all for joining us at the Shot Callers podcast. All right, we are here. We are back for another week. The weeks just go by so fast, you all. It has been non-stop moving train on our ends. Both Yabui and myself have been really busy this past week. I know Yabui's been real busy trying to get everything situated with all the different graduations going up. Shout out real quick. Let's just take a moment and just say congratulations to all the graduates of 2025. You all are the MVPs, whether it's, middle school, high school, kindergarten, post secondary, college degrees, whatever your field may be, congratulations. First, I'd like to say congratulations. No, I'm just joking. But no, thank you. Thank you all for coming out and joining us again. Oh, man. For joining us again for tonight's episode of the Shot Callers podcast, where we call the shots and make the shots. I am, again, Calvo G, along with my co host.
This your buoy. Still set my camera up, but go ahead, Calvo.
Yeah, so we're just running with it. As you all know from previous podcasts, this is the week, you all. I've been kind of talking about it for a minute now. Gulf Coast Culture Fest. It is coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is coming up for this Saturday. We are exactly 2 days away from the 5th annual Gulf Coast Culture Fest. It is going to be a good time, everyone. Uh, Come on out Saturday. You got it. All right, you got it. Come on out this Saturday on May the 31st. We will be downtown Pensacola at Seville Square. It is gonna be a good time. When I tell you all, I have been working hard for a day just filled of art, music, dance, poetry, drama, and I don't mean the kind that you see in the streets, but performing arts drama, film, and just culture all together. You all feel free to come out to Seville Square. It is a free event from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We'll be having a whole bunch of different forms of live entertainment, vendors, food trucks. My favorite part is the food trucks and the entertainment. Of course, I love the vendors, but y'all come on out. It's going to be a great time. But even better after that, when the sun sets at 8 p.m., we will be celebrating the Films for the Culture Film Fest, which will be showcasing short films from filmmakers from around the Gulf Coast and surrounding areas. We have a total of 8 films that will be showcased, and when I tell you all, these films are highly entertaining and very different, all in the same sense, and very bold. We have some really good films that have been submitted from local filmmakers. So shout out to the local filmmakers of the Gulf Coast. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm one of those filmmakers. And I will be showcasing something, the Peppermint Lady. And so
Ooh.
I'm excited for you all not only to just see my work, but also the works of each other. Because as we talk about and preach annually, well, not annually, sorry, I'm a little tired. Preach weekly on our podcast is to support indie filmmakers. We're all out here trying to make it. And this is the perfect platform for you all to come out and support. It's a free event. Gulf Coast Culture Fest and the Films for the Film Fest is a free event. So bring your chairs, your lawn chairs, your friends, your neighbors, and whoever else you want to, and just come out and just enjoy the day with us. It is going to be a good time. Outside of that, we are still celebrating and just continuously pushing forward with the Films for the Culture Film Fest. Films for the Culture Film Fest and Culture Fest. Like I said, you all, it's been a busy week. I have had the opportunity. Thank you for all the local media who has had me on board. I've been able to speak on several of the local TV stations and promote.
Bro, I seen you all over the place. WEAR, WKRG, Roman Radio. You just doing it big, bro.
Yeah, you just have to try to. I do all I can to get the word out there. So, and hope that all the promotion is well received. And so I'm looking forward to what is to come. Yeah. I'm looking at the comment section real quick. So we have Heather Marie Horton at England in the comment section. She said, "I'm trying to see what the hype is about." LOL. Hey y'all, Sean. She said, or your boo. She said, "Happy anniversary to you."
Appreciate it, Heather.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning in with us, Heather. So tonight, want to. Last week, if you were able to tune in and catch last week's episode about we I'm sorry, I'm
Some
laughing at you.
ASMR.
It is some ASMR. I'm laughing at you, boo, behind the scenes, kind of doing some technical work. But last week, if you all were able to tune in and join in on the conversation with us, we talked about the importance of communication on set. And I don't want to dive too much into it because I would like for you all, if you haven't listened to it, to go back and listen to it on our YouTube channel, or also you can find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and listen to us on the go. But last week's episode, we talked about the importance of communicating and having a good relationship with your clients or talent, right? And so I do want to kind of just piggyback on that a little bit this week, and not so much of communication, but really keeping the energy up. Uh, as you all may or may not know, for those who are in the film industry, you know, and for those who don't know, film sets are long days, you all. When we work on films, we a typical film set day working on a project, whether it be a short film or a feature length film, more so for feature length films. But I've worked on several short films that have had long days. It's a typical 12-hour day, right? So when you work long days on film sets, you you really learn also why communication is a key. But another thing to take in consideration when working long days on the film set is to be able to keep the energy up. We work several days where it's not a day off. You can work, up to really 5 or 6 days straight of 12-hour shifts without a day out. And a lot of hard work goes into putting films and making films together. Like, for instance, you may watch like a short film. It may be a 5 minute film, right? All together, just 5 minute film. But it could have took like 3 or 4 days for that to even be made. And people, it is a lot of hard work that goes into making a film. And when you look at that, and a lot of not only hard work, but a lot of hard workers who are working on film, I think it's important for people who are making films to be able to work together simultaneously, but also good energy. You want the set to have good vibes, right? And so, with that being said,
Big set energy.
big set energy. That is what we no booms in the shot. We have we have big set energy, and so with that being said, it's always good to have a good attitude, right? You want to come to set, you want to work with people who have a good attitude. Like for me, I think, not to toot my own horn, but that is one thing that I pride myself when I'm working with people as compliments. It's for people to say that you have a good attitude, because you can work with people and you more than likely will work with people who don't have a good attitude and are not pleasant people to work with on set. We've all been there. We've all worked with people like this. Unfortunately, I'm not going to call any names, but we all know people who have not been pleasant to work with on set. And a lot of times when you work with people who have not been pleasant on set, or just pleasant people to work with, you just don't want to work with them anymore. Because when I said that, you work 12-hour days at a minimum. And so you want to work with people who are enjoyable and people who are hardworking, right? So, in order to help keep the energy high on set, with me being a director and also a producer, I always look to the higher ups to kind of set the tone, right? So for myself, a lot of times I'm coming to set with very high energy. I'm very, I speak to people. You want to be positive. You want to keep the vibes good and set the tone, right? Because I think what not only I'm using, director producer on set, but even in your everyday jobs, right? You go to work, you kind of match the energy that is put out from your superior. And so whether it's your boss, if your boss goes, you go to work and your boss has good energy, is a good communicator, has good leadership roles, like that kind of trickles down throughout your company, the film set, whatever, uh, platform you are working in. And so for those who always ask me, I have friends that, hit me up and ask me, suggestions and questions about advice. I'm gonna say more so advice when directing for the first time or even just in general on something. I always tell people like have good energy, like you set the tone, make it not only a you go into to film or onto set with the vision to do stuff and to make stuff happen, and you want to you want to work hard, but I feel like if you make the experience an enjoyable experience, people will naturally give their best, right? And so find ways to make it fun. I know on my set of I don't know if anybody on set is here with me or who has worked with me. I'm a jokester, you all. I'm a hard worker. Don't get that wrong. I'm a very hard worker, and I will challenge you in your respective roles to do the best that you know you can do and really try to push people to their full potential because I expect the same. But I like to have fun with it. So, even though we have moments where we're hard working, I bust out singing on set. I just crack jokes. I really try to keep the energy moving and light. You want to kind of find different ways, and everybody's different, but I think like each person should find some type of way to enhance the experience of the people on set. Whether it's,
I love working with you once. I'm sorry to interrupt you,
oh,
bro. But you are such just a calm breeze on set. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that.
Try to
Welcome
keep
your buoy
what's good.
to
What's
the camera.
good? Just it's a big mess back here. We got cables everywhere.
All good, all good.
Anyways, yeah, there'd be a million bad things happening on set, and you take care of all of them, and everybody's happy. Everybody loves Calvo. Everybody loves Calvo on set, so me too.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up too. Man, you're such a joy to work with too, your buoy. But your buoy just brought something up on set. Like we've talked about it before. You can plan and plan and plan and plan and plan and plan everything down to the T to the I that is dotted, and you get on set, and it can not. Things can just go this
Always
terrible,
Murphy's Law. Always Murphy's Law on set.
just terrible. Like I tell people all the time, filmmaking is a beautiful train wreck. You just don't know what you get, but sometimes you just get a pile up of stuff, and you have to make it look beautiful. Um, So with that said, things don't always go to plan. And I think that goes into a lot too with having energy. Like as someone on set, of course, like we go into it with an idea, but you have to learn how to pivot and collaborate, right? But in the same sense of pivot and collaborating, it kind of goes with what we've been talking about with why communication is so important when filming and also energy. Cause right, if something goes to if I'm a director or a producer or a gaffer or whatever role I'm in respectively on set and something goes wrong in my area, if I come or approach the situation with negative energy, and there's a difference between having negative energy and being, you work 12-hour days. It's gonna be moments where you're frustrated, you're mad, and whatever. But like if you hold on to that energy, it can become toxic, right? You got to learn how to just kind of hit things head on, address it. You might have a little, you might, everybody has their feelings, but you need to deal with it and try to move on, right? Which, because if not, it's just going to fester and it's just going to kind of like anything, it's going to seep into other areas, right? But if you just kind of like approach it, you shake it off, you like, okay, let's try to problem solve and find a solution. We can, you know, address something and move on from that. And so I think that is also another good thing to try to think about when having big set energy. Uh, I need that energy. Sorry, Big Crit came in. Shout out to Big Crit. Um, but that is something to keep in mind when approaching things. So Yabui, how do you usually? I want to like ask you, how do you approach things when things don't go your way on set, or when you get frustrated on set?
I just push through, bro. Nothing. Oh, that don't get demonetized from my text.
No.
But yeah, I don't really let anything bother me on set. I mean, just like on any type of shoot, music video shoot, movies, uh, wedding events. There's always wild things happening, but
Mm,
if you don't keep your composure and keep calm in that um, during those events, then you're not gonna have a good outcome for your video. You know.
that's true. That's true.
So, but as far as interacting with my crew, especially on a movie set,
Hmm.
I always buy them food.
Yes, food, food, food. Feed your people
Always.
because the energy. We talk about energy, right? We know that food gives energy. And so if you are hungry, especially if you've been working long hours, you will be drained. And so that's why we've talked about crafty, which is, the food that is on set. Crafty is so important. I mean, it's good to have meals too. And so speaking of which, right, according to the laws of set, it may be put in by place by the unions, uh, the film unions. If you work for every 6 hours you work on the film set, you are supposed to provide a meal. So the first 6 hours, right? Start at 9 o'clock, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. By 3 o'clock, we should be eating lunch. And then if you continue for another 12 hours, 6 hours after 9 o'clock, you should be eating lunch. Um,
And that's on sets with budgets.
and that is on sets with budgets. Indie sets are different. I do want to put that in there because, we work with a budget. But I mean, I think like knowing the actual film industry sets and trying to start applying those to your indie budgets, if the budget, I mean, indie films sets, if the budget allows, is a good practice. So I mean, we are all working towards a bigger picture here, right? Pun intended.
Always looking for a bigger picture, bro.
And so it is good to have those moments where you start practicing stuff and start allowing yourself to be able to adapt. But again, we're all indie filmmakers. Everybody has different rules outside of the union. So, uh, regardless of when you are working on the set, treat your people right, feed them, keep your energy high. Cause like I've worked on film sets, and I think like especially as people who are above the line in the industry, right? And so let me break that down for you all. Above the line, they have like that's how you kind of divide uh the hierarchy of the film set, right? So above the line typically is like the directors, the producers, and sometimes the director of photography. They are considered like above the line positions. And then everything below the line, it doesn't mean nothing negative. It's just how they just break it down. Below the line is everything outside of that. Um, but above the line stuff, people in these roles have sometimes the most responsibility. They are the ones that really over the creative and the visions for the project, whether it be a short film, a feature, commercial, whatever it may be. They are the ones that the people look to, and I think that it is good to like still have good energy, big set energy. So with that being said, some other ways that you can have big set energy, like I mentioned before, is having a good attitude. People want like I I will say for me, even starting out like as a production assistant and working on like films, just really when I was trying to get my feet in the ground and just trenches, right? Because we all started, a lot of us started out in the trenches, whether it was on a film set or just shooting stuff for people we really didn't care that much for, or jobs we really didn't care that much for experience. You got to start somewhere. But anyway, from doing that, like the more you do it, you observe and you kind of like you find your own ground, right? Would you agree, Yabui?
Yeah, I do agree. And what I do as well on the production side of it, I try to get everybody involved. It's their first time on set.
Mm-hmm.
I let them hold the boom. I let them even operate the camera. I show them different techniques for camera movement. So I try to get everybody involved that actually takes their time to come to set.
That's true. That's a good thing too. I think that's really good. And that's even more than what I was gonna say. I was gonna say I just speak to everybody.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. You
Cause
just eye contact. I mean,
you'd be surprised, you all. You come on some sets like, unfortunately, some people in certain roles, even on a independent level of filmmaking, do not speak to everybody.
oh my gosh, actors. Oh lord, boom on the set, bro. Boom in the shot.
And I mean, actors, directors, producers, like some people just do not talk to other people on set who they don't feel are qualified to speak to them. And I think that, like, for me, I've been in the experiences where, or instances where I've been the lower person on the totem pole and I've come on set with the hopes of, speaking with someone in a higher position, whether it is just to even just introduce myself or not really like, or just ask a question, whatever it is. And people just, all right, so I see we're trying to get someone on. But yeah, people just don't talk to people. Even if it's, I mean, and you don't have to necessarily say have a conversation, but I think even if you just more so not even have a conversation of talking, but more so a conversation of acknowledging people, It's a small things.
Hey, when an actor is using, I guess, the Meisner. Oh gosh, this thing's all type of. When an actor is using the Meisner technique,
Hmm.
and they're supposed to be not talking to other people, what do you think about that?
So now that's different, right? Because sometimes you, it's a time for everything, right? So I mean, sometimes when actors are in the zone, you just gotta like read the energy, like let them be in the zone, right? The same thing from, I say actors, but anybody on set. If someone is in the zone and they're working, yeah, just let them be. Let them. You don't want to take nobody off their focus of what they are, right? But outside of that, say we're breaking from lunch and we're just all free. That's a different story. But
Yeah, some of y'all just need to break character a little bit. I don't know, so something.
I mean, yeah,
But I just learn better and not feel any type of way. But I'm just a chill dude. Then you're pressing your Meisner on me. I'd be like, oh, my bad.
yeah, I get that. I mean, some actors have it harder to where it's hard for them to release. But I definitely understand. Uh,
And I'm sure they want to do a great job. So I understand. I understand. But
no, I get it. I so, some people take their work home.
yeah, beat their wife.
Oh my God!
I
Boom
just
in
it just
the
ran.
shot.
That's just random. I just being stupid.
No, I'm just talking. This is funny, but no, seriously. Because when you said that, right, I thought about stories I heard from the set of Sinners,
Mm.
with Michael B. Jordan. So when Michael B. Jordan was in character for one of the twins, it is from multiple accounts stated that like it was you could not talk to him. And that was like other actors who were on set said that like, yeah, once we noticed that he was, I want to say it was Stack, uh, the character Stack, that when he was in like in the zone, that you could just not speak to him, that like he would not speak to you. It was just the energy was there to where you knew, all right, let me just let this man be, right? However, outside of that, he was talking, he would talk to people, but
When he switched to the other guy,
yeah,
no, that's dope, bro. I mean, his hard work really paid off. I mean, look at the box office they did. So, and the
mhm.
movie is incredible. So,
Yeah, I feel like like our roles, right? When you look at us, like me as a director, like I get I gets in the zone, and I be in the zone sometime, and so like it is different where like I'm in the zone working with an actor or breaking down the scene, and someone comes and talks to me, like I'm handling something. Read the room, people. Read the room. Read the
yes.
energy. Uh, and you just have to just give me a moment. And I'm sure the same way with you. Like you might be in the zone, like trying to like find the shot, get the light and set,
Hmm.
and I'm sure you've had
And people want to
just
talk to you and
yeah,
talk to you. And, yep.
and you're like, let me just get this situated, and then we can talk in a minute. So I feel like, uh,
I mean, for my crew people, I always give them the time because I'm just happy that they're helping me.
yeah, I
But if
mean,
it's like
outside of crew though,
outside the crew, then yeah, I'll stay in the zone. But any crew people, I always give them the time because I love that they're helping me and helping me lift a C stand with my broken hips. You know what I'm saying? So
hmm I get that. No, I mean that's what I said, but I mean like your crew are like for you being especially being a DP, like your crew is just an extension of you.
yes, I love every one of them.
Shout out to the crew.
Crew love. Wish we could play the song.
I know. I thought about it, but I've been singing like 3 songs already on the podcast. If you all want to hear me in concert, feel free to download. No, I'm just
Say we're gonna make the AI version of you, bro. Just take your picture and make your whole album
um,
tonight in about 30 minutes.
like it probably like take my voice away too. But no, all right, we gonna save that one
We
for
can clone your voice.
we're gonna save that one for a different one. All right, I see your boobies back.
341 million sinners. What's up? On an $80 million budget.
That's amazing. Shout out to Sinners.
Yo,
If you haven't seen that already, what are you doing with your life?
what are you doing with your life?
Boom in the shot.
Boom in the shot.
But yeah, do you have any other advice about keeping big set energy?
Just keep calm. I mean, I'm always calm
Yes.
in general. Just keep calm. Be even keeled. Know what you're doing.
So I'm glad you said that. Right? No, seriously, right? I don't want to talk about myself, but I do want to give advice. Like, breathe, people.
Yes.
Whatever role you're in, things are gonna frustrate you. It's been long days, long nights. Have Have you ever worked overnight on set?
Yes.
Terrible. But breathe. We're all out here, movie making. I talked about being in the trenches. We are all out here in the trenches trying to make something happen, trying to make something incredible, right? And I think it is good to breathe and be calm. And I think that's the when I can only talk on this podcast from personal experiences. So I don't want to feel like I'm technically talking about myself, but I'm just speaking from personal experiences. And especially with me being someone who's also stepped into the role of assistant director a lot on sets, I feel like a lot of people, if you are familiar with the stereotypical roles of people on sets, calm is not a quality that is usually associated with an assistant director. However, I think it is a good quality to have as an assistant director because AD, I forgot to put them above the line. They really, I gave credits to the director for trying to set the tone of the set, but really the director kind of does, but the AD is really at the heartbeat. If you are fortunate to have a AD on your set, the AD is really the heartbeat of the set. And if you are unfamiliar with what a AD is an assistant director. I will say for me, before I got into a film and hearing about assistant director, I just assumed that assistant and the assistant director helped assist direct,
So do you try to do the
but that's
black
not.
hat, white hat, where the AD is kind of the hammer, and then the director kind of just speaks through the AD? What do you do about that?
Talking
Or
about, do I flip the scene? Like, do I try to wear two different hats?
yeah, with the AD and the director, or do you do it as you go? Because sometimes you just have to get the job done, and you gotta tell them what's up.
So for me, I'm I have been credited as being a very people love me as an assistant director, and I'm not just to my home. I'm just talking from personal experiences. Uh, but and I say that very humbly. I do. I really do. Um, but I try to keep the same energy, right?
Hmm.
So a lot of ADs are very just like hard and very people hate ADs. ADs are typically assholes. I'm gonna just say it, and firm. They're firm. Uh, but I feel like it's good to have a quality of calmness because, like, let me go back. So, an assistant director does not assist direct. They do assist directing, but not in the way that you would.
They're like quality control. They make sure
Yeah.
these actors are doing what
So,
they're supposed to do for the
so
most part,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, not really. Kind of, sort of, not too
Okay.
much, right? So, on the set, right, a director breaking down from roles, right? A director comes on and directs the actors, right? So, on during the stage of production while we're on set, the director's key role is to essentially direct the vision, but more so focus on the actors, right? So the director directs the actors. The producer works behind the scenes and making sure that like things are in order to where the production can be produced. And the assistant director covers all the logistical things, right? So the assistant director, while the director is solely focusing on acting, the assistant director makes sure that each other department is working simultaneously to make sure that the production is completed. So the assistant director is the timekeeper. So we're making sure that that we make our days, that each shot is taken care of, that we everything's kind of going in a good flow of things, but also the AD goes around and makes sure that each department is doing what they are supposed to be doing in a timely manner that we can make our day. So, AD is like in the center of making sure the director is on board and doing what he needs to do with directing the actors, making sure that lighting and grip is doing everything they need to do in timely manner. That the sound department as well, that the actors and hair and makeup are going through, that wardrobe is going through. So is the AD is really at the center of each department on set, making sure that each department is doing what they're supposed to be doing. So when it comes down to getting the shot up and getting in the scene, that we are able to film what is set for that day and that we can make our day. And if you've ever worked on a film, you know that the number one enemy for making a film or whatever project you make is time.
Yes.
Time will leave and escape you people. And so the AD is really because it had the AD assistant director, first AD, has to handle all of these positions. They are known to be very it sometimes demands a very strict and firm demeanor because you have, you're dealing with so many different people, so many different egos, so many different departments sort of that uh have to be moving at the same time to where like if one department falls short, I'm sure you can relate to this. You'll be working on set that like say everything is well, each department is on set, right? And for example, sound is not right. If one department is falls short on what they're supposed to be doing, it literally slows the whole production for everything. So as an assistant director, you have to like constantly going around making sure that everybody is doing what they're supposed to be doing, and while also keeping track with the time and making sure that we're getting every shot we need to do. And this is important not only on independent films, but more so on budgeted films because time is money. So if you don't make your day, you have to come out of pocket, right? And on paid film sets, after the 12-hour mark, technically you're supposed to be paying overtime, right? Which is a time and a half. So paying an entire crew of everybody double, overtime, that is going to eat the budget up.
And then you gotta feed them again.
And then you have to, yes, after 12, you have to provide a second lunch, which is a whole nother expense, right? And when you look at the odds of it, you like I can either, go over the time and pay the second lunch, or it may even be even longer or more expensive to come back and film a second day, Uh
Exactly.
because locations cost money. I mean, like I said, on the independent level and seeing, we are, especially here in Florida, shout out to Florida and Pensacola more and the Gulf Coast. We are fortunate to be able to receive a lot of locations at little to no budget. But however, if you film anywhere else, you got to pay the cost. And like I said, you have so much money. If you have a small budget or a strict budget, even uh $1 million movies go over and they run out of money because of time. So with that being said, an assistant director really has to be on their P's and Q's, but it all boils down to energy, right? So circling back around to everything that I was just
Mhm.
saying, right? Uh a AD has to be firm on their role, right? And a lot of ADs, because of their firmness and because of their heart, you have to, the demeanor of what trying to make sure that every department is doing what they're doing, the energy can sometimes go sour. I've worked with some sour ADs because, don't take it personal. They're just really they have a lot of pressure on them as
Mhm.
a person in one role trying to manage a whole production, right? And they have to be firm because if you fall short, we all fall short, right? However, with me approaching, once I first, really found my groove in this role, I realized that if I make if I'm still firm, I'm very organized, I'm very, I check in, but if I give you good energy, right? If I'm just like, hey, such and such, but not on like no, not too light with you, but I'm giving you good positive vibe. Like, all right, like you've worked with me on set. I'm like, all right, you all got such and such. Like it's a way of saying things, and more so, I'm in the same role, but the delivery is different, right? You add positive energy to the delivery, so where
Yes,
like
definitely.
it doesn't necessarily sound sorry, it doesn't necessarily sound like I'm yelling or telling you what to do, which I am, but like I'm just doing it in a positive way. Like, all right, you got this, And I feel like that kind of goes back to where we talked about communicating. It's all and not necessarily how you say something. I mean, what you say, but how you say it, you know?
Exactly. How do you deal with people that like to bring their own ideas to that scene? Because constantly, sometimes people will have their own, like, actors or crew members might want to, know, have a different idea on how the scene might want to go. How do you deal with those type of people?
As far as with a directing,
Like you're directing,
mhm.
and then little person in your ear goes, "Psst, psst, psst, psst. Hey, how about if you make him do this and maybe move this here?" Do you deal with that at all?
So yeah, so I mean, uh, as a director,
Besides, like, the AD.
yeah, so I mean, as a director, uh, I feel like that happens a lot. But what I always stress is know the vision, right? Because filmmaking as a whole is collaborative, right? It's a collaborative effort. Like I might be the director, but it's my vision, but it's a lot of forces that can come together to enhance the vision, right? So, for instance, a lot of times I might be working and an actor may come to me and be like, "Hey, I know you got it in the script this way, or I know it's in the script this way, or I know, we've done it this way. But what if we do it this way? What if I try it this way?" For me, if time allows, I'll give it a try, because what they may see the vision, my vision, but see a way to enhance it, right? But also, like, there's other instances where um we're working on something and people just come in out of
Yes.
right left field ballpark with just something totally absurd, right? No, I mean, it's cool and all, but as a director, like if it does not align with the vision, no. And then for me, I'm such a like, I'm big on pre-pro, right?
Yeah. So
So if you got an idea for me,
should have said it in prep.
you should have said it in prep. A lot of times we do find a lot of stuff on set. Like you just have to feel it out, feel the energy, feel the story. Like, a lot of stuff you could prep, but a lot of stuff does kind of not necessarily be improv, but find itself on when we're working in the scene, in the setting. But however, if you got something just totally absurd, like let's run that down in pre-production because one, we don't have time.
Not at
We are
all.
all racing against this clock. And I have been on some sets, you all. I have been on some sets where I was not the director, but I have been working for people who were directing, uh, and they have not had a clear vision for what they wanted. And
And they
either,
don't set the expectation with the crew as well. So if they're
yeah,
not nipping it in the bud,
yeah, expectations have, communication has not been clear. And their vision for what they want also has not been clear. And so when you do that, if it's like if you don't know what you want or how to communicate what you want, you can easily be persuaded to do something else.
exactly.
And that persuasion, once you are persuaded to do it and do it, you will 9 times out of 10 realize this is not what you want. And then you have to go back and try to find what you want when you should already knew what you wanted.
Exactly.
Thank you for joining my TED Talk today.
I think that's the only time when I'm a dick is like the only person I really listen to is a director. Like anybody else, I
Yeah,
just kind of I acknowledge their idea. But I'm like, oh, okay, but we're gonna do it this way.
I think you should. Like, I feel like as a DP, like you should, That's who your director should come from. Especially you. I feel like especially for me being a DP, that's who I listen to. Like producers on set, they'll come up and talk to when I'm in the role of a DP cinematographer. They'll come up and may talk to me about something, but until like I hear it from the director.
Exactly. I had to go tell them like if I work with Rico, I'm like, Tato Rico. If Rico gives it the go, I'm
Mhm.
down. If not, then I'm just not going to acknowledge
Yeah.
it. I mean, I will acknowledge it. I just ignore in my mind
Yeah.
what they're saying.
But I mean, I think, and I think that is good to also have a good relationship with a director and DP, like because essentially y'all are a team. But I have also seen instances where directors and DPs butt heads.
I haven't had that yet, but
Yeah, I have not had that either. Um,
I think we're both kind of easygoing and we're malleable in that position. So, you know,
yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of like running down in the past. I have not had that in the past either, but I do feel like there have been instances like where we're we're shooting a scene, right? And of course, there's been instances where I've been shooting a scene. I've been shooting a scene, and I don't know, something maybe like I might come with a shot list, and the DP may be like, "Yeah, let's not do it this way. Let's do it this way," or let's just do it this way or do it this way, and you can a lot of times find yourself agreeing to disagree, which happens, but a lot of times after agreeing to disagree, you compromise, right? That's what it's all about. Compromise. We're working together, right? This is a collaborative form of art. Um, Sometimes you just gotta say no. Sometimes you just gotta work it out.
yeah, just sometimes logistically, they want to shoot a whole different direction, but the whole time in your mind, you're not shooting that direction because you already have like 5 or 6 reasons why not to shoot in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Either something's off or the lighting's, and you got to readjust all the whole lighting after you set it. So, sometimes they don't get what like a DP, where a DP is coming from. Because we already thought of all the lighting situations, the sound situations, all of that. But they have they see things, I guess, in a I guess a more macro. They don't
Oh
see
yeah.
it in the lens. They see it like just looking at a building and they're like, oh, I want that whole building in the scene, but it's impossible. Just positioning and logistically how you had to set up. So I know that's why now I know why those directors, they create that little thing and they walk around with that
Oh
little
yeah, the viewfinder.
the viewfinder
Mm-hmm.
to see how the shot's gonna look. Now I
Yeah,
totally
and
understand
so
why they have that.
and also I feel like from like even from a director standpoint, right? Uh, like because I've had some called my cord is called. I've had some instances where like a DP wants to change the shot, and on the flip side, I'm like, no, we can't change the shot. And it's more so from a continuity
Hmm.
reason, like Bill walks out the door from a left, we can't,
Yeah,
yeah, we can't swap it around. And so,
understand.
yeah, it's just perspective. That's why I said, but like that communication there is like, you have to have that communication for it to just be, because if not, after, like I said, being on set for long periods of time, you just, we get tired, you get ill,
Hmm.
especially if you've been doing days and days, it's hard. It's hard.
And
And
you've been
so
doing all the prep. You've been
yeah.
working on it before. You wrote it, you prepped it. Now you're on set, and those people just show up, on set, and that's it. And then they leave. You still got to go edit. You still got to do, finish it out, do the post.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And
they don't
so
understand that.
that's true. That's true. And so that's why I like communicate, it all like what we've been saying, it all goes down to communication, knowing the vision and executing the vision while keeping the energy good on set.
Exactly.
All right. You got anything else you want to say?
Uh, no, sir.
All right. You got anything for Tech Talk today?
I did. I had my light in here that I just got, but no, I don't have anything today.
All
We might
right.
have to cut it short today, and
No,
we'll go full next week. I
we're
know you guys have your Culture Fest tomorrow, so
yeah, Saturday, you all. So yeah, come
Saturday.
on.
I'm sorry,
No, you're good.
Culture Fest on Saturday.
You're good, yeah. But I think we really I really appreciate tonight's conversation. And I thank you all who have tuned in with us tonight. But we are now going to get ready for our final thoughts.
Okay.
Brought to you by
ChatGPT.
Perel. Sanitize.
Brought to you by Olive Garden. My whole family got food poisoning yesterday.
Terrible.
Eating some chicken from Olive Garden.
I haven't been to Olive Garden in so long. Is it the Tour of France that they call it? Where they give you like all the different
Tour
stuff?
of Italy.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm looking up my stuff real quick. Oh, so I also had some notes that I had wrote down. I'm looking at my notes too, y'all, about some other stuff with being and keeping the energy on set. So, some notes that I had thought about earlier. Let me just share those real quickly, right? I said, acknowledge hard work on the spot. That's another way you can keep the energy really good. It's like tell people, hey, great job. You're doing it. Like encourage people, because people feel and do better when they feel they're doing better, like that their work is not going unnoticed. So recognize people's work, tell people they're doing a good job, make feel people feel good, right? And then also I think like little stuff like that also not only boost morale but also build confidence and self-esteem. And so when people, especially whether it be actors or whatever role they're in, and feel good and both, like when you get a compliment, you just feel good, like you do better. Let me see some other things that I put in here. Oh, also another reason, when I was talking about being the AD, right, uh, is kicking the day off with a safety meeting, right? I don't know if safety meetings are important. Like that's another way to like set the energy. Is like having the meeting starting off the day, breaking down all, of course, the safety guidelines and keeping everyone safe, but also like bringing good energy from the start.
You know what I did like when you were on set, and Rico does it as well,
hmm
is when you guys close out the day, you just kind of recap and just get everybody hyped before they leave. I really love that.
Yeah, I think that's good too. Like you want to keep the energy good at the start of the day, but you also want to keep it good at the end of the day. Like whether it was a hard day or a good day, like we're all in it to press through. So like you want people to leave like feeling, regardless of how the day went, that something good came out of the day.
Yes, exactly.
And sometimes on the flip side, sometimes you got to reprimand.
Mm-hmm.
Some days I've worked on set, especially in the AD or director's role, and I'm just like, hey, today, today was a hard day, you all. We struggled. We did not necessarily give. This is probably my day 5 out of
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Yeah, it's
We
never
we
day one.
we did not give our all. We are tired here, and I acknowledge that because we're all in this together. However, we have a long ways to go, or we're almost to the finish line. And tomorrow's going to be a great day. So, despite whatever we have endured today, whether we didn't make our day or if something did not go right, there's always a better outcome. So you have to like kind of like give and feed into people and give them that positivity that like no matter, and take it for outside of film, like it's going to get better.
Always.
Um, I
Let
was
me go
trying,
first. Let me go first.
yeah.
And then you can close it out. You always have a good one. Uh, bring that blockbuster energy like a key light hitting just right. Your vibe sets the tone and brightens every frame. On set, you're not just in the scene, you are the spark that turns a shot into cinema. That's it.
That was nice. You are the spark that turns into cinema. I like that. All right.
Hold on. Let me get your little tight shot. This focus has been messing up all day.
Focus on
Hold on. Let me go handheld.
me.
This camera just.
And also, if you are listening to us on the go, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, we love y'all.
Appreciate y'all.
And if you're watching us on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, we love y'all too. Thank y'all for tuning in.
We hire a camera operator. We just need this look right here. This looks so much better.
I appreciate that. All right. So my final thought brought to you by Chat Gerard.
Peter Thomas.
Your crew is your first audience. If you can inspire them, guide them, and treat them with respect, they'll go all in. You don't just direct the camera, you direct the energy of the room. And that's what makes great sets great.
Oh.
You are the visuals, baby. I'm done. That's it.
Okay, dope. Remember Saturday.
Come on out to Gulf Coast Culture Fest,
Saturday.
May 31st, this Saturday at Seville Square. 2-part festival, the first festival going on from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. It is a free event, and then followed by the Films for the Culture Film Fest at 8 p.m. Y'all be on the lookout next week because we will give a recap, and I'm excited for it. I'm tired, but I'm excited for it, and it's going to be a good time.
Yes, I know it's gonna be so dope, bro. I mean, it was produced by you, Calvo Griffin, Calvo G from
Force Studios. Force Studios.
Force Studio. That's up, bro.
I know. Look, hey, let me for y'all listening. If I have any insecure watchers out here, I just messed up my name like that. If you watch Insecure, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And see,
Bro, I've been watching. I'm on episode 5.
Really of the first season.
Yeah.
Maybe she's broke as hell. Maybe it really smells.
That shit's funny as hell, bro.
I'm sorry, but no. So in season 5 of Insecure, damn, I'm just gonna say the Blow CC.
No, just go, bro.
No. So
I forget.
when Issa started her own company, and it's called The Block, but it's like BLOCC, and she was on that panel, and the guy was like, "Yeah, Issa Rae or Issa D with The Blow CC," and she's like, "The Block." That's how I feel about my name. It's Force Studios, but I put a 3 on it, and I love Yabui. But everyone, it's very rare when someone says Force Studios. They always say Force 3 Studios. And
People mess my name up all the time, bro.
And
not your boy. It should be your boy, not your buoy.
Yabui. But no, all love. We appreciate y'all. We're just having some fun here. But with that said, you all be safe, be blessed, love each other, and spread love on set. Keep that big set energy. And we will see y'all next week on the Shot Callers Podcast, where we call the shots and make them too.